The Hamilton County prosecutor says Anthony Kirkland is a vicious serial killer. His words. Today, both sides began arguments in this important death penalty trial. My colleague Tanya O'Rourke is anchoring our coverage outside the Hamilton County Courthouse. It's been a pretty busy day, Tanya.
Yeah, Craig, busy, and I mean, they really packed a lot in today, but it was also emotional. I mean, considering what you just said, that the prosecutor said, the opening statements carried a lot of power, but that wasn't even the start of the day. No, the start of the day involved a side trip, a field trip, as it were, to one of the sites of the murders, Esme Kenney's murder, to the Winton Hills reservoir to see where 13-year-old Esme Kenney was killed. That was in 2009. Kirkland attacked Kenney while she was jogging alone, strangled her, burned her body, and attacked her sexually. Kirkland is also being resentenced for the 2006 killing of 14-year-old Casonya Crawford. And Crawford's death took center stage today. Police Sergeant Howard Grant said her burned body was found on a dead-end street in Avondale.
There were two different burn sites. There was one burn site where it actually occurred. And about approximately 10 feet from there is where we found Casonya burned and covered with tires.
We also heard from Crawford's grandmother. She is the first of multiple family members of Kirkland's family, Kirkland's victims, that is, to take the stand. But we will also hear in the future from Anthony Kirkland in an unsworn testimony that he gives. And Tom McKee is here with more on that. What are we talking about?
Well, Anthony Kirkland has said very little in open court right now. The prosecution's delivering his case, so that would be the proper thing to go. But that's about to change. The jurors are going to hear a great deal from him in the next few days.
When Anthony Kirkland was sentenced to death in 2010, he read an unsworn statement in court saying, "I cannot believe how horrible I am, and I hope I'm locked away forever." Defense attorney Tim Cutcher confirmed on Wednesday his client will do the same thing in this case.
Did he come from an abusive home? Yes, he did.
Cutcher's case is based on Kirkland's mental health status.
There's a statutory mitigating factor that says you shall consider whether as a result of a mental disease or defect, the defendant was unable to control his actions and conform to the law. Mr. Kirkland was not able to do that. Your decision will be life or death.
Jurors will also hear Kirkland's 9-hour interview with police after he was arrested for killing 13-year-old Esme Kenney.
You're going to hear a killer that lies about his involvement in the murder. He lies about his name. He blames others. He eventually gets completely caught up in his lies, and he gets confronted with his inaccuracies and bad facts. Then he starts to tell them what happened to Esme.
And he began talking about how he murdered Casonya Crawford, Mary Jo Newton, and Kimya Rollison.
He did drugs with this woman, Kimya. He's in a van, and he sticks a knife in her neck. He hits her in the jugular vein. He refers to it as a lucky shot, and she bleeds out in the van.
Now, that is just some of the graphic words that he used, Kirkland's own words in this statement, and that was 9 hours of questioning by detectives Keith Weatherall and Bill Hilbert. Masterful job, and it's very surprising in the fact that those statements that he made cracked cases that were unsolved, and they probably wouldn't have been solved except for their work.
The jury's going to hear all 9 hours.
All 9 hours.
All 9 hours
yeah.
of that, and as we understand it, I mean, as Joe Dieters mentions, he basically admits and details each of these murders.
In graphic detail, as I said, yes.
All right, so Tom, thank you so much. And of course, our coverage of the Anthony Kirkland resentencing continues online. You can read about the expert the defense is going to call on to talk about Kirkland's supposed mental illness, along with a full wrap-up of today's statements and testimony. You can find that all on WCPO.com. I'll be coming back at 7 o'clock to talk more about this case as well. But so for now, we are live outside the Hamilton County Courthouse. We'll send it back to you in the studio, Craig.